This is Stephanie with Hightower Stitching with today's video. Today is Fun Quilting Half Log Cabin Quilts. Half log cabin blocks can have many variations, and it depends on how you position the blocks and also your choice of fabrics. And I saw in a magazine there were like 8 different variations you could get. Well, today I just want to go back and show you 2 of those variations that I've used and how I quilted those. The first quilt variation is to take the blocks and just put them side by side. So you have this library book stack there. And you may remember to even seen this one before, but I did. I love feathers after I learned how to do them a little bit. And so up the one side, which was a light fabric, I ran a feather on each one of those. Then for the ones that went up and down, you can do all the same pattern, but I was playing with the one I had, and so I did a variety of different patterns over and over in the different blocks, and that really turned out to be an attractive quilt. The second variation, this one I've really liked and my sister-in-law liked. I've got a quilt here, that the blue one. If you look at it, you have the blocks turned so that either the dark is in the center or the light's in the center, and then you alternate those. And this is my after the fact chart where I show 2 of the patterns that I used inside. And one of those is the one that is a swiggle one. And you do one line through the center to get your hills and valleys. And then you go back and you do the other one. So let's say I wanted to end at the other end. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go down. And then I'm going to go back up and make a new one. And I'm going to make, in the valley, I'm going to make a circle. I'm going to go over the hill. I'm going to make a circle. It's going to put me at the top. Now I'm ready to start down. I start down. There's my valley. I make my circle. I make my circle. And I come down and I'm right here. And I can go either to the left or I can go to the right, which I'd probably go to the left and do the next one. The other one that's really attractive is this bubble looking one. And I have to be honest, at first it took me a while to figure out how to do that. And this is the way that I figured out how to do it finally, because I'd get them all over, but they always end up looking like kind of like teardrops. So you can see here are the dots where I always start, and I loop around the top and I come down and loop around the bottom. And here's where the magic comes in. You come up to the side of the top bubble. Then you go around, come down, hit the side of that bubble, come around, hit this, and keep going up. All right. So that's go around, come down, make your bubble. Now your bubble's going to come up and it's going to hit in the side of that top piece. Now go around, make your bubble, head for the side, come back up, and now you're set because you're going to aim for the side. And doing this sideways, but it's actually working better than normal. I'm going to come up and hit there and then just keep going like that. You could do that hand stitching. Any of this can be done hand stitching in variations, and then you're on the machine. So that's attractive. For the dark squares on this one, I simply went down with my ruler and I made reference lines and ended up just being boxes because they weren't going to show up very much anyway. And if you'll look, you can see the boxes, but it makes it look very attractive, especially the one that's in the middle, which has the blocks all marked out. Then my sister-in-law liked this pattern, and so she got started on her first one. And here again, she did the same, where she turned and has all the lights in one section and then has the others at the top. And this is a baby blanket. And on this one, I went and in the center ones, I did the orange peel where with the dark ones. I drew my reference lines and I traveled back and forth doing the orange peel, and it looks really pretty. And then for the other one, I had my boxes drawn again, and this time I just did a weaving pattern that went back and forth. As you look at my after the fact plan, there are my orange peel patterns. And then here I have my swiggle lines where you just start at one point and go up and down, move over the next box. Now I did go ahead and put a dot in each of those boxes or an X so I'd know exactly where I had to go and I didn't have to keep stopping to find out where my next space was going to be. And this is the last quilt that, and my sister-in-law did this one also. She did the top and I did the quilting. And this one's very colorful, and there's a reason, because it's going to be a preschooler's blanket to take to school. And you can see we did the same orientation of the blocks as the last two quilts. And the center, this time, this is where I put the orange peels, because this wasn't going to show up very much. And the orange peels really stabilized that area. And then when I got to the colored strips, she said, well, can we put some school words in there? And so never have used my variegated roll of thread very much. And I pulled that out. So this was done with the variegated thread. Now it is a 40 instead of a 50 weight. So it was a little different to use and just to watch that the top and the bottom did okay. And here was my after the fact plan with the orange peel in the center and then the words around those. And since he was primary, I had to try and do mostly letters that were print. So move over to this yellow one. What I did was I do my capital letter. When I got ready to do my E, I stopped right here and I backtracked and went up and went around. And the L, of course, is easy. That's not my prettiest O. And all of a sudden I slipped into cursive, but I don't think he's going to care. But I did think about each of the words that I was going to do, whether I could do those without anything hanging down in the bottom block and whether I could do them so that they looked cursive. So these are two variations of ways to orient your blocks. And there are several ways that you can quilt those. Maybe I took a little bit of the trouble out of trying to figure out how you wanted to quilt the half blocks. This is Stephanie at Hightower Stitching. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and hit like. All right, let's